What's up, gatekeepers? Is Leslie finally moving on? Is Nicole's new romance the real deal? And what is the real reason Lynette is in town? We've got 2 days, December 17th and 18th of Beyond the Gates drama to unpack. Let's get into it. So we start off with Nicole and Carlton. Okay, now Carlton couldn't come to Winterfest due to a family emergency. So of course he has to make it up to Nicole. And he suggests that they go on a little picnic. Of course, Nicole is like, picnic in this cold weather? And he was like, no, but leave it to Fitzgerald and I'll come up with something real nice. All right, well, go ahead on, Carlton. And Nicole just grinning. So he goes off to, I guess, make arrangements or whatever for their picnic. And Nicole is like, are people gonna be thinking, what are people gonna be thinking of me, considering that I just went out with Dr. Rollins on one date and now I'm going out with Carlton? So Shanice is like, you know what? I'm not here to judge. I'm just glad to see a smile on your face. And basically, who cares what other people think? But that's Nicole's MO. You know what I'm saying? She's always concerned about appearances. Any rate, though, Ted shows up just in time to see Nicole and Carlton heading out on their date. Of course, old sad sack Ted looks and, how you doing? Oh, we're good. You know, hi Ted, bye Ted. As they leaving out, grinning and giggling like two teenagers going out on their first date. Any rate, they leave, but Ted has a gift in his hand. Actually, a gift bag. And Shanice is like, who is this gift for? I hope it wasn't for Nicole. Okay? And he says, no, actually, this gift is for you. Me? Yes, you. So, of course, Shanice is suspicious. He said, go ahead, open it up. So she opens it up. She sees what's inside. And she's like, I know you didn't get this for me. Okay? And Ted is like, yeah. So turns out it's a bird feeder. Now, when they were trapped in the elevator, Shanice lets him know how she was afraid of birds. And of course, she like, why would you give me something like this? And he says, I listened to your fears and want to help you face them. Okay? And she like, I don't know. And then he said, I tell you what, let me know when I can come over and install the bird feeder in your yard. And so she is convinced that she's about to watch a live remake of The Birds. Now, The Birds is a movie made by Alfred Hitchcock. If you don't know about it, look it up. And then she says, well, if you manage to survive the psycho bird attack, I'll find a way to thank you. It's flirty, it's panicked, it's extremely Shanice. So gatekeepers, y'all let me know what y'all think about Ted and Shanice, okay? Do you all like to see them together or not? Let me know in the comments. So then we cut over to Nicole's place where Carlton has put together a full-on holiday picnic spread with turkey and dressing sandwiches, cozy vibes. They laid out in front of the fireplace on a blanket, drinking a bottle of vintage wine that Carlton says, this'll be our new wine. Okay. All right, Carlton. And Nicole is just sitting there grinning and, oh, Carlton. They listening to music, and then a new song come on, and Carlton say, well, this'll be our song. So they get up and get to dancing and everything, and I'm like, oh, nah. So the chemistry is on fire with the two of them. Nicole declares herself as a new woman, and of course Carlton is like, yeah, I like this new Nicole. And then they lean in and kiss. So gatekeepers, let me know what y'all think about Nicole and Carlton. Do you all want to see them together or not? So we move on over to Orphe Jeans, where a very reluctant Naomi meets with Leslie about the free clinic. Okay, side note, like I said before, Leslie being the town pariah, and everybody in the town wants to help her. You know what I'm saying? Everybody eventually gives in. And why? Is it because she got money now? Okay, it's still, I don't care if this woman is a billionaire at this point. You know what I mean? She came to town and broke up a family, brought a daughter in, and still doing stuff. But as soon as she asks somebody a question to help her out with something, they may hesitate in the beginning, but then they give in. Don't make sense to me. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Anyway, Leslie's pitch is people who can help should, and now I can. On paper, great. In practice, it starts to sound a lot like I want to buy respect and validation with a charity project. So then Sam walks up and she was like, oh, I couldn't help but over here. And Leslie was ruder than rude. She was like, basically, little girl, you need to stay out of grown folks' business. Hurt little Samantha's feelings. And Leslie feel like because she putting all the money in to make this happen, this is her project. And Sam didn't have nothing to do with it. Ooh, she wrong for that. She was so wrong for that. And then Naomi don't even say nothing to to defend Samantha. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? Samantha was the one that actually came up with this project, and you shouldn't be so dismissive towards her. You know what I'm saying? She didn't stick up for Sam at all, considering all she did to find out whose June's biological children were and the whole mess. And then when Leslie say something negative towards her, she ain't got nothing to say? Okay. Anyway, Naomi goes on to tell Leslie that, this is going to cost a whole lot. You need to hook up with some sort of charity to help with the funding, because before you know it, you're going to run out of money. Which leads me to my question, how much money does Leslie have? Okay, because we saw her in the beginning get a check for $1 million. And since then, she has got a house torn down and being rebuilt. She done put money towards a sports complex at the country club. She done paid for a stranger's surgery. And we know medical bills are high. Then she bought apartments for Eva and Peaches. And she going shopping on a regular. And she not shopping at Temu and Shein. So how much money does this woman have? And it's like, She just got this endless amount of money, and it's not making sense because BTG is not explaining how she getting all this money. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. So we move on to Uptown, where Jacob and Izaiah just finished having lunch with their mom. But mom had to run off to her job as a 911 dispatcher. So we find out that mom works for emergency services for the police. So Jacob tries to convince Izaiah to maybe not be such a total jerk and reunite with their dad. And Izaiah is like, you know what? I am not interested in chasing a hater's approval. Later, Eva comes in and she and Izaiah have a conversation, and she says to him to let go of the past and embrace the possibilities instead of staying stuck in old wounds. And apparently it works because Izaiah shows up at the police station and he tells Elon that he'll swing by for a family visit on Christmas. It's not a full reconciliation, but it's a huge step. Okay, so other things that happened on this episode, Ted is hoping that everybody can get together at Martin's for Christmas tree decorating, including Eva and Kat. And of course, Eva is like, she is not convinced that putting everybody in the same room yet is a great idea. I don't know why Ted is still pressing the issue for them all to get together. Kat has made up her mind. Let's move on. We find out that Leslie is a huge fan of romantic comedies, and I think she and Eva are supposed to set it up where they could sit up on the couch with snacks and watch some good rom-coms. And then Marcel comes into Uptown and he sees Leslie, and she asks him, is it just a coincidence that we keep running into each other? Are you being paid to watch me just like you did at Winterfest? And then lastly, June and Samantha. Samantha invites June over for Christmas, and June is a little hesitant because she's like, well, your dad's already invited me over for Thanksgiving. They probably don't want to see me at Christmas too. And she says, no, I want you to be there because you're my family. And the only thing I want for Christmas is you. And June got emotional and they hugged each other. It was real sweet. So we move on to Thursday's episode, and Hayley is catching up with Lynette. They talking for a few minutes, and then she says to Lynette, oh, I got a surprise for you. And then Randy shows up. And Lynette say, Randy? Like, you here too? And Randy say, yeah, I was here before Hayley came here. So the three of them start reminiscing about the good old days, about their schemes and their crimes, the times when they were a trio, and that was before Hayley and Randy bailed on her. Okay? And Shanice, Lynette is not pressed about being left behind because she says, you know what? There's no real loyalty in this game. Now, Randy is suspicious because he thinks Lynette might have an ulterior motive for being in the DMV. And Lynette insists that the only person who can get her out of those embezzlement charges is Bill. Yes, when I came to town, your husband was highly recommended. And I know he is the only one that can get me out of this situation. But Hayley is not buying it. And she and Randy basically decide that they will keep an eye on Lynette. And so with Bill asking Hayley to be a part of the investigation and case with Tomas, then Hayley can keep an eye on what information is being revealed about Lynette, and to make sure that her name don't pop up nowhere, even though she was known as Val. So if Tomas comes up with anything about, yeah, she used to hang around with somebody named Val, they won't know that that's Hayley unless they have photos. Now, over at the country club, Bill and Danny meet up again. They start reminiscing again about when they first got together, they first Christmases, the Christmas with the girls. You know, he tells her the gifts that he bought for the girls this Christmas. He gonna get Naomi this leather bound briefcase that was the same kind of replica, if not the same actual briefcase that the first woman in oh my gosh, it's a shame I don't remember, but she was the first black woman to be a lawyer or graduate law school or something like that. But anyway, they reminiscing and all this other stuff, and Bill is getting caught up, you know what I mean, with all this reminiscing. So they flash back to the episode where Danny tells Bill that she is pregnant, and he was too happy and excited. Anyway, Hayley eventually shows up and sees them together. Am I interrupting something? And of course they were like, no, and Danny bolted real quick. But later, as Bill and Hayley get ready to sit down for dinner, he tells her, you know, I've been thinking, and I want you to get off the pill, because I am serious about us having a baby. And of course, the look on Hayley's face is like, what? I'm not trying to have no baby by you. I'm just trying to get you to St. Bart's under the guise of us redecorating and stuff, so I can take you out. I ain't trying to have no baby at this point. So I don't know what's going to happen there. So meanwhile, Anita is clearly weighed down with the biopsy and all this other stuff and what it may or may not reveal. She wants to tell Vernon, but then was interrupted when Andre came over. So, of course, Vernon is trying to play it off with Andre. It's like, oh, yeah, he came over because we needed to talk about something. Photographing Martin's campaign. And so she leaves out the room. Andre reveals to Vernon how the picture is going to look and what he put into it, you know what I'm saying? And Vernon is pleased with the outcome. Anyway, Vernon leaves to go make a phone call, and Anita and Andre are alone, and he was looking at family photos. And this time of year is pretty sad for him because, of course, he's thinking about his parents being gone and how everybody is so family oriented around this time of year. Of course, he misses his parents. He appreciates Ted and Nicole for bringing him in when both his parents passed. Things of that nature. And Anita reassures him that he's a part of the Dupree family now, and that his parents would be very proud of the man that he's become. So Andre leaves, and then Anita and Vernon reminisce about the day they met, the march in Washington. And how it was romantic and grounded and gives their relationship real depth. But then Vernon gently circles back to, now you were gonna tell me something earlier. What did you want to say? And she was just like, nothing really. So of course she didn't tell him about the health issues. Now, back over at Uptown with Marcel and Leslie, Marcel lets her know that he's not on the Dupree payroll today and that he actually wants to spend time with her. So he turns up the charm, but starts to worry he's misreading the signals from Leslie. He gets up to leave, trying to bow out gracefully, and she was like, partner, and she puts her hand on his thigh, and she's like, now I know you was raised better than that, not to leave a woman drinking alone. Then he lets her know that his wife wants a divorce because she's tired of being sick and tired okay, of him. And then Leslie admits that her heart and soul was with Ted, okay? And she refuses to get involved in anything less than she deserves. And Marcel is like, well, you know what? I'm not like any other man that you've ever known. And then he pulls her in for a kiss. So they kiss. So Gatekeepers, is Leslie actually moving on past Ted? So Gatekeepers, that's a wrap for Beyond the Gates on Wednesday, December 17th and Thursday, December 18th. So are we the team Nicole and Carlton or Nicole and Dr. Kyle? Is Leslie and Marcel a relationship we're boarding? Or are we turning around at the dock? And is Lynette's presence going to be a serious problem for Hayley and Randy? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, drop your hottest gatekeeper theories in the comments, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Don't miss the next recap of Beyond the Gates Chaos.